What does it take to hit a home run in the major leagues, Austin?
Uh, you know, for me, it's I've been blessed with being bigger and got the strength. So for me, it's just having a good plan when I go up there and having a good approach and just not trying to do too much. I've told everybody every time I try to hit a homer, most of the time I strike out. Most of the time my homers come when I'm just trying to get a base hit. And that's what I was doing yesterday. Guy was on third, 2 outs, just trying to score the guy, and was able to connect on one.
Throughout baseball, you always hear the analogy that a home run is a mistake by the pitcher. Was it a mistake? I mean, you get that ball didn't look like it was right down the plate or right in the center of the strike zone. You let you turn on it, or you turn on the base hit on the home run. You let the ball get a little bit deeper and you hit it out to right center. Is it a mistake, or did you just have good mechanics and you let the ball get to where it was supposed to?
I think that was not the homer was not a mistake. It may have been a little up, and they may have been trying to go there, but it was it was on the corner of the plate. I think I told myself I knew he had a cutter. It was brutally cold. I was like, just try to stay on it, and not try to do too much. And I was looking out over and got that pitch.
Did you know you had got it when you hit it, or did you think it was just a double off the wall?
I thought he may have caught it, because Ozzie had hit a couple that way earlier in the game that got caught. He hit a double out that way. The wind was kind of blowing. Ball really wasn't traveling, so I definitely didn't think I got a homer. I was just hoping that he wasn't going to catch it. I was going to get a double.
I got to ask this question. Last night we were watching baseball. It was a West Coast game, San Francisco at Los Angeles. My brother Clint texts me, and he's just upset. He's a huge baseball fan, but he just doesn't like this Dodgers lineup and what they've done. Now, is baseball such a business to where it is what it is? The owners and the management groups can put together a team like this and have 3 former MVPs as their top 3, the top 3 in the lineup, one of them being an ex-teammate of yours, Freddie Freeman. Is it okay? Is it part of the game now to where you can put these super teams together because of the revenue these teams make, the value that these teams are worth? You have a great contract. I congratulated when that happened. I'm very happy for you. But is it too much what the Dodgers have done? Do other players in the league look at it like that, or it's just another day at the office?
I think as players, it's another day in the office. I think we're the only, brand, MLB that doesn't have a salary cap. So it allows teams to, there's a luxury tax, and it allows teams to go spend what they want. And, you look at NBA with the salary cap, guys, teams are kind of limited to what they can spend. You may, if you're going to give, your top guy, a huge contract, then the other guys kind of get the crumbles of the rest of the pot of money. So, they obviously make a lot of money, the Dodgers, and are willing to spend it. So, the way I look at it, it's a really good team, and we get to play them. So, 2 really good teams going after it. That's great baseball. So, they're they I don't know. I think it's one of those things that to each his own. If they're willing and wanting to do it, then then let them be.
So were you kind of odd or jaw dropped when you saw the Otani numbers?
Yeah,
I've seen big contracts, Austin Riley, but I mean this was big.
Yeah, no, that it was crazy. Obviously, the two-way player, what he's capable of doing. I haven't dove into the actual numbers. I know he deferred a ton of money.
Yeah.
So, it's like I said, it's an outrageous contract, but good for him.
Did you face Otani? Did you play against Los
Yeah,
Angeles Angels when he was pitching?
yeah,
Did you face him on the mound?
I did.
What have you done against him?
Um, I think
Do you
double,
remember?
single, yeah, double down the line, single the other way, and then I think maybe a strikeout. I think I faced 3 times. So the stuff is there. Like he's great. Just more or less maybe got lucky that night.
No, like
Yeah.
what? You're a young player. How old are you now? Are you 26, Austin?
27 today, my birthday.
Oh man, happy birthday! We got Austin Riley on here on his 27th birthday.
Yeah.
What does it do to your psyche? What does it do to a humble kid from Mississippi psyche to see best third baseman in the game, top 20 prospect in all of Major League Baseball, top 15 players in all of baseball? I mean, like, a few years ago, you were playing minor leagues. A couple years before that, you're playing high school ball in Mississippi. What does that do to your psyche? Like, I keep using just another day at the office, but does it make you stop and think about like all the hard work paid off? I'm going to work harder to keep this going. I owe this to my mom and dad and my wife and my baby. My fans deserve to see the best Austin Riley product on the field. How does it equivalate to your everyday living when you hear those kind of accolades?
It's obviously very, very humbling and it's very cool. I kind of look at it as they're just numbers. They don't really mean a whole lot. But it's awesome to be recognized because like you said, the hard work that for me personally that I've come through to especially the defensive side, because I tell everybody I was in the minor leagues, I was terrible. Like I've come a long way from a defensive standpoint. And just the way I look at it, it's I want to continue to show my fans and the Atlanta fans that I think there's still more in there. I really do. I think there's a Gold Glove in there. I think there's I do think there's a potential MVP in there. So I could I feel like there's more that I can do to continue to better my game and hopefully bring a World Series back to Atlanta.
What does that look like defensively? How much time do you put in? I saw some videos of you doing some drilling, before the game, pregame stuff. Is it hours a day of tedious defense work during spring training? And then once
Yeah.
the season comes, did you concentrate a lot on your defense in spring training when you're down in Florida? Do you get out early every day and take ground balls and pick drills and everything?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's out there at 7:30 every morning, on the backfield doing my drills that Wash had taught me with Tui. And then like I said, it doesn't come easy for me, so I have to stay on top of it. So spring is a huge part of making sure that I'm locked in to where my steps are. Like I said, we're out there every morning 7:30 to we don't spend we're pretty efficient on our work. We get it in, get it done. Because like I said, it's a long season, so we're just trying to make sure that we're prepared. But yeah, I mean, I think and then going into season, we stay on it. Still doing our drills every day. I don't like to miss them. Ground balls. We implemented this year. Walt did a thing we call live fungo, which I tell you, like in spring, we talk about as infielders. You may go through because you're not playing every day in spring. You're playing every other day early on, 5 innings. And then as you get closer to the actual season, you're starting to play every day. But you may go a week without a ground ball in spring. So it's like I feel like me personally, and like I said, talking with some other guys going into season, if you were behind a little bit on anything, it's almost the defensive side because you hadn't gotten those live rep ground balls. Like you can't mimic them. So we implemented this year a live fungo, which was absolutely love. Like I've never been more prepared from a defensive standpoint going into season, comfortable with hops. Where we have our infield coach, basically somebody flipping them to him, and he's actually like swinging and like hitting them hard, and you're getting those live rolls, this four top spins at third to this long hop, short hops. You're able to work on your footwork, which has been really nice.
What's getting off to a start like you are? Um, I understand that a team like the Atlanta Braves is going to keep the pressure on. You don't want Philadelphia to ever get breathing room, and you don't want New York. You don't want the Marlins. Anybody in the division, you don't want to give them breathing room. You guys are off to a 3-1 start. Being touted and being projected to be the National League East champion, go to the NLCS, go to the World Series. Talk to me about your mindset of recovery when it comes to the mental part of this game. We always hear how difficult and how mental baseball is. How hard is it for you to lose in the playoffs and the patience it takes to recover, family time, vacation time, maybe a little hunting time, whatever it is?
Yeah.
But you got to get back to spring training because you're a champion. You guys are the world. You guys won the World Series. You guys don't lose in the playoffs. Stuff like this. How does that equate in your mind? Are you in a hurry to get back? Are you glad to see it over? When I'm sure you would tell me it's harder to go into the offseason losing than it was to be a winner. Obviously it is. How do you recover from a playoff loss personally? Does it take a few weeks to get over it and you're right back at it?
Yeah. Like you said, I try to, obviously first off, the way it ended back-to-back years, that definitely puts a sour taste in your mouth. And I think, I think there's two ways you can look at going through something like that, losing to the Phillies back-to-back years, first round. I think you could sulk and feel bad for yourself and blame the scheduling, blame, whatever it may be. Or I think you could try to evaluate yourself personally as a team and try to learn, yeah, you're upset that you lost, but also try to, I think that in this game, it's a game of failure and you're trying to, every situation you're trying to learn from. And I think that's what you have to kind of look at it as like, yeah, we're disappointed, but we're also trying to learn something from there. So how, going into next year, how do we not let this happen? And I think, it's one of those things where, the first couple weeks, yeah, you're salty, in the off season, trying to evaluate, and then, you get some hunting in, you get some family time in, and then it's, then you start to, how can I prepare to get better going into, how do I, you start planning your off season regimen to when you're going to start working out, to when you're going to start hitting, throwing, what that looks like, how you're going to try to get better. And then, like I said, once spring training rolls around, it almost, you go through a whole off season of, not trying to forget it, but moving on. And then it gets brought right back up as soon as you get to spring training. Cause that's the last, media has talked to you is the postseason. And then, like I said, I think the only way you get by this is have another great season and then, get to the playoffs and you gotta change the narrative, change the story yourself. But like I said, you got to get through a 162 first. Everybody's got to be healthy. So
what is the overall team feeling when you're in spring training this year? Do you guys come back, and does it take very long to gel when you get that time off? You leave in November, you come back in late January, February. Spring training really gets going in mid-February. Does it take a while for the personalities to gel, or do you guys stay in touch in the off season? Are all the
No,
most of the players friends on the team?
oh yeah, we're all buddies. Got a really good group, and it takes no zero time to gel and get back the camaraderie that we have in the clubhouse. So no, it didn't take anything. Guys, at that point, you're excited to get back into the routines of the baseball world. Spring, seeing everybody, seeing the guys, getting back together. So no, it didn't take any time.
When you have a guy like Acuna on the team that is touted as one of the top players in the game, and 40 home runs, 70 stolen bases, doing things that hasn't really been seen in Major League Baseball. There's been 40-40 man. There's been great base stealers that don't hit 40 bombs. He's pretty badass. So are you watching every time he's at the plate because something special is going to happen? Or what kind of atmosphere does a player like that bring to an organization? Do you learn from him? Does he got a great approach? Is it his personality, his attitude? Does he ooze winning and championship to where you want to be part of that positive? What kind of guy is he?
He's great. Obviously, God has blessed him with unbelievable talents. I tell guys, I was like, if there was a league above the big league, there's only a select few that get that would make that team, and he's one of those. Because when he's on, he's so fun to watch. He's electric. The cool thing with him is he can whether he's on the bases, in the field, with his glove, with his arm, with his bat, with his feet, he can change a game with literally everything that he has. It's just it's so cool to watch. And I've been with him since low A, and see him kind of grow and mature as a player has been really cool. I think he's talked a little bit about it. He was injured that 2021 World Series run, and I think he's got an edge with him. Now that he wants to win a World Series and be really a part of that and have huge impacts, and he's so capable of that. And I think playing behind that and being a part of that is pretty cool.
In Austin Riley's mind, you mentioned a league above the major leagues that Ronald Acuna Jr. would be a part of. Who else, in your eyes, do you like to watch on SportsCenter that you don't want to miss an AB and a game against them? Who else is in that league above the major leagues, in Austin Riley's opinion?
Mookie Betts, the three, Shohei, Freddie, that we talked about earlier. Me personally, being a third base, I'm obsessed with watching Nolan Arenado. I love his swing, love his game. I try to learn as much as possible from him. There's others from drawing blanks.
Is Trout on there in there?
Yeah, Trout's on there. I mean, there's a handful of guys that are on there that just when they get locked in and get going, like I said, they're in a league of their own, and it's just it's cool. It's cool to be a part of as a MLB group, to be able to watch those guys play on a nightly basis.
A little bit tougher of a question, maybe. I don't know where Austin Riley stands this. I know that you're a country boy, and I kind of know where you're at with this, but the politics of sports kind of get in the way for me to be engaged in some instances. Last night's NCAA women's game, Iowa with LSU. When something happens like LSU walking off the court before the national anthem starts, and Iowa stands and respects the flag and honors it, do you have to be careful in the way that you the way you approach questions like this, the way you answer questions like this, Austin Riley, do you have to just like be each of its own and respect where every person's coming from, or can you say, hey, I'm a prideful American, I'm going to stand for the national anthem? How does it work in your mind when you're one of the faces of the Atlanta Braves?
For me personally, I like I said, you gotta respect everybody's opinion. I'm gonna stand for the national anthem every time. But to each his own. I've always told myself that I will never let politics get in the way of my game and the game that we play. We get we have a platform. We get paid a lot to do this, and I just think that it's our job to play the game of baseball, and like I said, just for me personally, I try to keep politics out of it.
Is it difficult for you to are you becoming a media guy? There's players that had reputations in major leagues that the media was kind of shut out. Barry Bonds was one of them. He kind of was anti-media. Are you very open with all of the writers away home games? Do you enjoy that part of the game, or does it get you off of your beat? Are most of the media respectful enough to where they do it in an approach that's respectful? Like I said, the timing's right. They know when and where to get you. I know some players like my buddy Charlie Blackmon, the starting right or DH really for the Rockies most of the time. He doesn't like it once the game starts. In between the lines, spring training, there's always timing for them to be approachable by the media. What kind of personality and stance are you taking to your media time?
No, they have a job. That's the way I look at it. I do think there's a fine line, like you said, in between the lines, during the game. But we have a great group of media that's that's with us all the time, and like I said, they have a job, and it's our job as players to answer those questions that they have, whether they're easy or hard questions. We have a job, and we have to be accountable for that. So like I said, whether they're easy or tough, whether you have a good game or a bad game and don't want to talk to media, I feel like that's we owe it to the game, and it's part of our job to answer those questions.
Do you wish you could play every game, 162 games in South Georgia, Central Georgia, Atlanta? Do you like being on the south side of Chicago and playing in cold weather where the bat's ringing in your hands? Do you like baseball in the cold? I don't even like watching it when it's cold out.
No, I mean, it's, I don't like it. I don't. I'll be brutally honest with you. It's not like the single that I hit to left yesterday, that I hit it off the end and my hands rang for about 2 innings after that. So I definitely, and that's a unique question, because I think it is part of the game, but I think scheduling wise, it's like we always talk. It's like, okay, we know it's 70 degrees in Atlanta. We know it's 30 degrees in Chicago. Like, let's
Why
schedule.
are you putting that game up there in April instead of down here when we know it's gonna be?
Right.
Put it up there in July if you're gonna make it stay up there.
I don't know. It's like I said, but it's part of the. They got to play in it. We got to play in it. So it changes things up, but it's I definitely like playing baseball in weather.
Yeah, warm weather. It's God. I mean,
The only time it should be cold and playing baseball is October baseball. I'll put it that way.
And even, does it get cold in Georgia in October? It doesn't even get real cold. Does it?
It's like, it can. We get like the rain, like the rainy cold is kind of what it is. So it can get a little chilly at times.
Austin, talk to me about that environment you get to play in. When I walked into that stadium last year, the surrounding area, the retail, it's just a beautiful spot for baseball. What does it do to you? Do you get giddy every day driving to the ballpark? Do you drive yourself to the ballpark, Austin Riley, or do you have a driver in a limousine every day? Like these people, I want to set the record straight of like, you actually have a truck and you drive into the stadium,
Oh,
right? And
yeah.
you live a pretty normal life, right, Austin?
No doubt, no doubt. I'm driving a Chevy 2500. Um, I drive myself to the truck. Like I said, I live about as normal of a life as they come. I go eat my Mexican, drink my margarita. Um, I don't try to change. Try to be as normal as possible. But uh, our fans are one of a kind. They're the best. Like I said, driving to the yard every day. What they've done with the battery, there's nothing like it. We're packing out weekdays. And it's just something special. And until you've played in front of it, being, on the home side, them cheering you on, it's like I said, it's one of a kind. And you wish as a ball player, everybody could experience that at some point.
I know you live a normal life, but if you can have you have you splurged a little bit with the new contract? You're a deer hunter, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's every baseball hunter's dream that there's a country boy to buy their own farm someday. Is this really did it come into fruition, Austin? Do you get to say, "Hey, I own some dirt in America now. I worked my butt off and now I get to cultivate this land and manage it for conservation and hunting and living off the land." Have you got to do something that you really always wanted to do?
Not yet. Still, it's in the works though. I've looked at a couple pieces. Just haven't come across the right, piece, whether it's the amount of acres, right location. But that's, I hadn't splurged on anything other than, like I said, I'm looking for some land, that I can call mine and hunt and grow the deer, the ducks, the turkey, and have my family and friends, and enjoy that with me, is a huge dream of mine. And like I said, just it's in the works. Just trying to find the right piece is the key.
You mentioned Mexican food. I got to know, as a country boy, have you gotten more of a palate for maybe some sushi, maybe some different? A lot of
Hey,
people from Mississippi consider that as bait. I think if that's
yeah,
the if I
was
remember
that
right.
I actually ate sushi last night. I'm obsessed with it. I don't think I ate really sushi until I got into pro ball. So, my palate has expanded. Back home in Mississippi, we got, little town in Hernando, we got 4 Mexican restaurants. 2 of them are right by each other. So the options aren't very, they're not many options. But no, like I said, it has grown, from sushi to, whatever it may be. So my palate has definitely expanded.
I'm bouncing around because I don't like to keep everything solid baseball because I could geek out on baseball, but you always have to geek out on baseball. I like to know some of the fun things or the thoughts that go through a person's mind. Like when you see the slide the other night, help me remember. I believe it was Chicago, the Cubs against. Do you know the slide into second base I'm talking about?
Oh no, it was the Brewers Met.
Oh yeah, Brewers Mets.
It's
Thank you.
McNeil and Hoskins.
Hoskins, yes. Did Hoskins go in too hard this time of the year? Is that a
I
playoff
don't
slide? Is that
no,
playing
I don't
baseball?
I don't think so. We actually had the way I look at it, we had a thing with McNeil. There's a picture, with when Vaughn Grissom was with us. He's like 2 feet to the outside part of second base, maybe even 3-4 feet. And McNeil's like sliding right into him, like not even really close to the base. So, I don't think that, Reese went in. I think it was a very competitive, aggressive slide that, they challenged it. It didn't get overturned, saying it was a aggressive slide or out of balance. So I'm I'm here for it. Like I said, the I totally understand protecting players, and making sure we stay safe. But at the same time, I think there's a fine line of playing competitive rough bait. I saw a ton of, which I absolutely love. I saw a ton of stuff when that slide came out of like back in the 70s, 80s of videos of guys going in and just absolutely getting rocked at second base. So it's definitely, the game's changed. But I don't think it was bad at all.
Do you when you said that about the 70s and 80s, Will Clark going into second base with Ozzie Smith and the Cardinals in Busch Stadium, Pete Rose all the time. Is that the way that your dad probably loved that style of baseball? You probably got a lot of people that your dad's age and maybe my age that was a great way to play baseball. I went hard every single time. Do you wish that the game still had that? Has sports got too protective? The NFL just made another law on a tackling, a tackling style that's been forbidden now. Are we softening sports, or is it good for the athlete that they can be protected in some way, or are they protected too much?
I don't, I have a tough time with this one because, I totally understand protecting players, but at the same time, you almost are kind of changing the style of how guys play whenever you put those rules in from a football standpoint of guys just can't go in, like they want to. And so I don't know. I have a tough time wrapping my head around it because, I totally get this. I understand the side of protecting players, but at the same time, I like I said, you're almost changing the style of play when you're in, when you're taking these rules to how far they are. So it's a tough one. I like I said, because I do love the old style of play. The game monitoring itself. So I don't know. It's a tricky one.
Do you? I mean, you're taught to you're taught to run through first base. You're taught to break up a double play. You're taught to go in hard at second base. That's how we were taught. I do agree with you that you're kind of changing the style of play that a lot of these players may have been, taught or instructed on coming up as a youth. I get that these organizations, are banking on these players being off of the DL and performing and filling the seats, and that's
Yeah.
why they're starters. So it is kind of a weird mindset of what should be allowed and what
It's
shouldn't
like,
be.
yeah, there's a very gray area of like where do you stop? Like where do you draw the line? Because like we got a rule implemented this year that if if you're if you're like essentially in the way of the base runner and the base line, um, they're calling that it's you're blocking the bag, the runner gets the base. So it's making it hard for us on it's almost it's changing the way guys that runners that are coming from second to third, balls in the in the outfield. Ronnie's throwing me the ball from center, like how I set up on the bag. It's changing. I've had to completely change the way I approach that from making sure that I don't, because as a third baseman, you really like on those plays that are coming from the outfield to third, you really don't like, you have a general idea where the bag is, but you really don't know where it is, just because it's like the play's happening so fast. The ball, you don't know where the ball's going. You're trying to put yourself in a position to where you can see the ball and you can see the runner. You don't want the ball to cross the runner, so you're trying. There's so many factors that go in, and now you have this rule where, if you step in the baseline as he's trying to make his slide, if the ball's taking you that way, like you have no chance. Like he's automatically safe because you were in the baseline. So it's interesting. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's a judgment call and it's not reviewable. So I think that's going to make it even harder for us because, like I said, you can't review it. So we'll see. But it's crazy these rules that they're implementing to keep guys safe. But like I said, I definitely think there's a gray area there.
I really do too. You're not known as a hothead. What's the worst thing you've said to an umpire?
What's the worst?
Do you ever get into them a little bit when they miss a call?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the way I look at it, I gotta deal with them the next day at third base. They're down there the next day. So, um, and there's we have to, to me, I think we have a really good group of umpires that do a really great job. There's a few that, um, or whatever. But the worst thing that I've ever said, it definitely had a cuss word in it, I'm sure. Um, I think, like I said, I don't say a whole lot. I think that's probably like we gotta be effing better than that. uh, uh, that
Do they?
but that's probably I like I said, they have a hard job, and I get that, and the way I look at it, the call is the call. And it's not getting changed whether I say what I want to say or what I don't want to say. But I've let a few words go that I probably regret a little bit. But the cool thing about it is also that the umpires, some of them will, they'll come out, then, like I said, being with them the next day, if they do miss one, I've had umpires say, "Hey man, I apologize about that call yesterday. I missed it." So there's some really good ones. Like I said, they have the hardest job to me, calling balls and strikes. So I try to give them the benefit of the doubt most of the time.
What kind of man is the manager of the Braves, Snitker? Is he a friend to you? Is he a mentor? Is he a CEO that just kind of overlooks the team? Is he in there coaching every day? Does he have theories? What does a baseball manager do when he's dealing with 20 years old, 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds? Do they really need to coach at that level? Like, what does he do? I mean, the strategies, that's a big time, managing the bullpen, managing the play clock,
Yeah,
all of that stuff. What kind of
I
man
think
is
the
he?
biggest.
Do you love playing for him?
I love playing for Snit. He's got a lot on his plate, from, like you said, the strategy of how he's going to handle the bullpen, the rotation, the bench guys. I think the best thing and the biggest thing that I can, say about him is just his presence is what is so, to me, so huge, that he does great with. Um, there's no panic ever. And I think, that's what we've kind of feed off of is, you know, you never see our manager panic, whether we're down. He's always kind of, this level, same guy. Um, and like I said, that then feeds off of us. And he knows, I think the cool thing about him is he lets us play. Um, he says in the spring, he's like, I know you guys are going to do your work. You guys are going to prepare the way you're supposed to. And you guys show up every day and work your butt off. And I think that's what's cool is, like I said, he just lets us go out there, play our game. And those two combos of letting us play and then him having a presence that is even keel and trusts in us and is very knowledgeable of the game. It's great playing behind him.
If not him, who would you like, Austin Riley? Is there one manager out there that you came up in the minor leagues with that's gotten promoted? Is there a manager out there that if it wasn't Snit that you say, man, I'd love to play for that guy?
Um, if there was one, I'd probably say, just because he's had such an impactful, he's had so much impact on my career and as Wash. He's with the Angels now, but he cared. The one thing I say about him is he just cares about everybody. It doesn't matter if you have one day in the big leagues or 15 years. He treats everybody the same, and the attention to detail, and like I said, what he's, the main thing is how much he's impacted my career from a defensive standpoint, and just an overall. I think that would be pretty cool to play behind.
Speaking of the Angels, and we mentioned a guy that might be at the league above the major leagues, according to Austin Riley. Is there rumor that Mike Trout might be a Brave? Did I just see that the other day, or was I dreaming that up?
That's the first I've heard of it.
Is it the first you've heard of it?
Yeah.
Was I dreaming that?
Maybe. I hadn't seen that.
Why would I even say that? Why would I even say that? I have some weird dreams.
I thought he came out and said, "I'm riding or dying with the Angels."
36 minutes ago, Major League Baseball pundit predicts Braves trade for Mike Trout at the deadline. I saw this 2 days ago. There was like several reports. I saw it on MLB. But I don't know.
We got a pretty good center fielder in Mike Harris.
I know this. I'm just saying. I saw that and I was like, it said will Mike Trout become an Atlanta Brave? And it was 2 days ago, and then this one says 36 minutes ago they just predicted it again. I'm reading it whole is good.
You know, anything can happen. I would be very shocked if that was the case. But we'll see. Time will tell.
Mike Trout, he will end the summer as an Atlanta Brave. He's going to get traded to the Braves. And I say that because Mike Trout is unhappy with the direction the Angels are going. They have given him an unbelievable amount of money. He's going to be making $35.5 million annually until 2030. He's in line to make a bunch more money. He keeps getting injured, though. However, he's still a very good baseball player, as evidenced by what happened on opening day, and the Angels are headed in the other direction. They didn't try when he asked them to add more this offseason. They went ahead and did not do that. So it's exactly what we're talking about. Is he happy with the Angels or not? But I saw that a couple days ago, and I was like, damn, that'd be a powerhouse move.
That would be – it would take a lot to get Mike Trout. So I don't know. My gut's telling me I don't think that happens, but time will tell.
Who do you can't fanboy out in your position. I get that. You can't be pregame. I saw Otani hug Mike Trout this year. They were ex-teammates. Is there anybody that you've always been like, man, if I see him out during, warm-ups, I'm going to go say hello. I'm going to tell him I love his game? Or is it always that you have a history with somebody and you played with them in the minors and they may have been, do you ever see would Mike Trout be a guy that you would make an attempt or put effort into? Is there anybody that Austin Riley would be like, yeah, I'm going to go say hi to that guy because I got mad love for his game?
For me, it was, obviously when I see Dansby playing with him, so when we go to Chicago or he comes there, I always make a point to go say what's up to him. For me, it was Albert Pujols. Like I said, I grew up an Albert Pujols, Yadier Molina fan. So when those guys were playing, every chance I got to say what's up, I did. That's like I said, I think the coolest thing is just getting to play against all these great players, and just seeing their game and so like I said, those are the couple. So
have you ever exchanged a jersey, signed a jersey for a player, a bat, or exchanged bats? Anything like? Is your memorabilia collection grown a little bit, Austin, of these players that you want in that collection?
Yeah, it's grown a little bit. I got Evan Longoria, a jersey from him. I feel like I've done a bad job, honestly, of it. And me and a buddy of mine, I think it was Travis, we were talking about it. I was like, I got to start getting jerseys of all these great players that I'm playing with. I'm just not you can ask my wife, you can ask my mom. I'm not a sentimental guy for whatever reason. So it's like I don't collect a whole bunch of things. I'm not a hoarder. I'm not gonna when I'm 85, 90 years old, you're not gonna come into my house and I'm gonna have every wall filled I don't know. I think for me, it's, I've always been, I don't take a whole lot of pictures. I like to soak up those memories and moments, you know, in the real, in the flesh. And just, like I said, have those in that memory bank is what's cool for me.
Do you practice that in your personal life too? Like I'm sure that your wife is all about the Easter pictures with the family. If you get a nice buck in Mississippi, you get a little picture with Tyler Jordan or Bill Jordan. Do you try to do better in your personal life of off the field of keeping those memories with photography and stuff? Or if you kill a nice buck or a good turkey, can you just walk out of the field and not even care that it happened? Like, I know you care, but do you not take time to set up a nice picture?
No, yeah. I think my wife does a great job. Like we've had, we got pictures at the beach this spring of us, and then we had some off season pictures taken. Being with Tyler and them, they do a great job. But really, when I'm by myself, I do a pretty poor job, like especially hunting. I have them in my phone, but that's really about it. I may take a picture, me behind it, one or two of them, and then that's it. But like I said, I think just having those, like my brother, the coolest thing that I did this off, from a hunting standpoint was, I was with my brother when he shot his buck, like his first like true big buck, and like experiencing that. We didn't have a camera, we didn't have nothing, just the raw moments that we had together when he shot it, going to recover it, and then we took some pictures. I think that's what I hold dear, is like I said, having those memories that way.
I had the great Bill Jordan on the show last week. I had him on the Foul Life podcast, Not This Life Ain't For Everybody, Austin Riley, and he told the story the first time he met you, and it was a turkey hunt, and you went on a golf cart. No, it was a deer hunt. You went on a golf cart with him, and Tyler went the other direction. And he just said, "Man, this kid was so well mannered." You were still in the minors, I believe.
Yeah.
And he told this story about being in a restaurant with Coach Ned Yost.
Yeah.
And Yost goes and called him back over there. And he's like, "Dude, this kid's the real deal. Like, first round draft pick." And they were all geeking out over Austin Riley being in the little Georgia cafe. Do you remember that day?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was awesome. Like I said, it just, being, being in that restaurant, like I said, a little small town. Bill knows everybody in the restaurant. It's kind of like I said, that is like that small town that I grew up on. And just, like I said, me personally growing up, loving the outdoors, watching Bill like hunt all the time, and then, getting to go to his piece of property, with Tyler, getting to have dinner with him, meeting Ed Yost. And like I said, just that it was like a dream come true. It was like, from a hunting standpoint, it was like, dang, I made it. This was like the big leagues for me from a hunting standpoint, getting to hunt with Tyler and Bill, and then like I said, going to dinner. That was like my debut.
It's a weird thing that a major leaguer that what you become would get, that have that kind of humility. It's not weird. It's just awesome to see that those guys mean something to you, of coming up, watching Monster Bucks, watching TNN, or watch whatever you were watching the Jordan family on, and what the Real Tree family was doing. That's how I am about Bill. Having him on the show last week, I was like, man, I've made it, man. I got freaking, I made it having Austin Riley, but I had Bill Jordan on my hunting podcast, and I got to talk about how he started the company and how it, just the whole history and culture. Is like, man, I'm doing something if Bill's taking time out of his day for me. You know what I mean?
No doubt. And like I said, I think it's just, you watch the shows growing up, and then you meet him in person, and how humble he is, and how, he's, I'll be on the phone with Tyler in the off season, and Bill will be in the background. He's like, "Hey man, if you ever need anything from, at Ole Miss, like going to hit like a facility," like he's always like opening it up, like if you ever need anything. And like, that's how I was, raised and how I want to, be as a person, and just seeing somebody of that stature in the outdoor world, and how humble he is. I think that's what's so cool.
I do too. If people learn or took the time to learn what he did since 1986 and the chance he took, the ups and downs of growing a business the way he has, and still to be in his 70s and to be in that office every day and working the way he does is it just shows. Have you had any oh shit moments in the major leagues, Austin Riley? Going to LA, did you meet an actor? Have you met like a famous Atlanta rapper? Have you met Lil Wayne? Have you met somebody that you're like, oh man, that was cool?
Luke Combs came to our clubhouse 2 years ago, and that was like a oh wow, like
that's cool.
Yeah.
I forgot. Morgan Wallen wore your jersey on stage.
Yeah, that I didn't know that was happening. But that was pretty cool.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't. Like I said, my buddies were just like, he's like, hey, look at this. I was like, it's not bad.
Have you ever met Morgan?
No, never met Morgan. Been to a concert. But absolutely, I've been to Luke Combs twice, and it's my favorite.
I'm going to see him with Cody Jinks next month.
Yeah, he's so good. And like I said, he came to the clubhouse, and hung out with the guys. That was probably like I said, it was like, wow, this is a little taken back by it, but it was awesome. Another one, 2021 World Series after party. Jason Aldean shows up, which was pretty cool.
Oh man, he's a Georgia boy.
Yeah. So that was not. It was like I said, those type of you're just not expecting it. And you're just like, it's like you do a double take. You're like, is that really?
Yeah. I would like to know how Morgan Wallen ends up with an Austin Riley 27 jersey. I know he's playing the stadium. Do they go in and the Braves just give him that one because it fits, or does he request Austin Riley?
So he wore an Ozzy, like an Ozzy jersey, like the next night. So I don't know if he was just like rotating them, like each night, just wearing a different jersey. But I'm glad I was one of the lucky ones.
That's pretty freaking cool, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how good or how big he's gonna get, but that dude is on a trajectory that's. I've never seen it in music, like what he's doing as a male country music artist. Like he's breaking Garth Brooks records.
Yeah, crazy.
He's doing big stuff, and he wrote a song I think called the '98 Braves, didn't he? Didn't he have a song about the Braves?
Yeah. It's whenever it's kind of like what we're going through right now, where we could get past. It's not good. It's great song, but not good for the Braves.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's about.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was the Chipper days. How is Chipper? Was he cool? Was Chipper good to see at spring training? Was he at spring training this year? Do you get to talk to Chipper quite a bit?
He wasn't at spring this year for whatever reason, but no, Chipper's been great. Getting to talk to a Hall of Famer and the success that he's had. You soak up everything. I always tell everybody the biggest thing that I take from Chipper is just the way he attacked the mental side of the game, how he was playing chess and everybody was playing checkers, is the way I put it. Just he was playing that game inside of the game. He's always a couple steps ahead of his opponent, and that was pretty cool to hear some of the stuff that he had to say.
Hall of Famer, man. It's a Hall of Famer. You're gonna be a Hall of Famer. What is your day like right now? You're at a hotel. You're at about 10 in the morning right now. You play the White Sox again today?
Yeah, we got a 6:40 game. They've already banged BP, so we've pushed the bus times back.
Because of the weather?
Because it's raining right now. It's supposed to rain all night. I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, just chill, drink some coffee, FaceTime Anna and little one. He's and then just we hurry up and wait a lot of the time. And especially on the road, a lot of downtime. But may get out if it stops raining. May get out and do some shopping, walking around. But that's about it. Watch some hunting videos and call it a day. Get ready for a game tonight.
Can you walk around in public in Atlanta, Austin?
Yeah, like I said, I can. I get recognized, which is pretty cool. But it's kind of back to what I was saying. I'm not gonna change. I'm gonna go eat my Mexican restaurant when I want my Mexican restaurant. I'm gonna go eat my burger spot when I want my burger spot. I'm gonna go downtown and eat at a steak restaurant when I want steak. Like I said, it's just the cool part of about getting to do what I do, and I try to stay as humble as possible and not change just because I may get noticed here and there out in Atlanta.
Yeah, I love that about you. I remember going to eat with you in San Francisco and us walking up and down the streets to find a place to eat after a Giants game that night with my brother. Hey man, I appreciate you coming on. I got to say this
Yeah,
real quick if you don't mind. My girlfriend is named Anna. She's from Georgia. You met her in Colorado last year.
yeah.
Her daughter is Hallie Joe, aka Tater. Um, she's a huge Austin Riley fan, and my daughter Alyssa Riley is a huge Austin Riley fan. I want to bring him to a game and meet you someday, Tater and
Yeah.
Alyssa. But you're gonna love this. Tater is going. Tyler Farr, who's a
Yeah.
just a great country musician from Missouri. Guy walks into a bar, redneck crazy, whiskey and water. You look better in boots.
I've done some duck hunting with him.
Great guy, right?
Yeah, he's the best.
Tater is going to get to go, this Thursday. He's playing in Gainesville, Georgia, and Tater is going to get to go up on stage with him to sing "A Guy Walks Into a Bar"
Oh, that's sick.
with her guitar.
Oh, she played.
Yeah, she plays too.
Oh, that's awesome
So,
there.
so
I
Tyler's.
would,
I saw Tyler last week at spring training. I was down in Arizona, and he had a show in Phoenix. So I went and
oh,
checked out his show, and he's just a good human being, man.
oh
Tyler
yeah,
Farr.
yeah. You gotta get him. 'Cause, he's got that deep, raspy kind of voice.
Oh yeah.
You gotta get him. This has been like 4 or 5 years ago now, but we were duck hunting, and like I said, he was talking about his. I guess they have like a sing coach or something. That he goes
Voice
to.
coach.
Yeah, voice coach. Um, and he was telling him that the voice coach was like trying to get him to talk normal, and you got to get him to do it. Like when he tries to talk, it's the funniest thing. Uh, and he may
I'm
not
gonna.
remember it, but I still remember it to this day. I was like my stomach was hurting. It was so funny, but good dude.
Yeah, he's trying to get the voice coach is trying to get rid of that rasp. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. That's gonna be hilarious. I gotta ask him.
yeah, for sure.
Anything else, my man? Are you fired up for the year? Is it gonna? Are you? Is it different than any other year? Anything to end on? What's your walkout song right now? What's in your earbuds right now? Are you all country? You listen to a little hip hop, and what are you streaming right now when you're with the wife? I assume it's always hunting videos when you're on your own, but
Yeah. Like I said, mainly country, to Morgan, um, to Luke Holmes, to whatever, it may be from on the countryside. I do bounce around, like I said, when I get in the games, it's a little hip hop, love throwback 2000s hip hop, some, and then I'll bounce around to literally anything. Stevie Nicks, Bob Seger, all those artists. It just depends on what I'm feeling. Walk up songs, "What You Know" by Ti, Atlanta boy. So that's where I'm at.
is Ti from Atlanta?
Think so, right?
Oh
That's
God, dang it! I didn't know that. I love that song
you
though.
you have to fact check me, but
I am right now. What have you ever heard that song that he did with Eminem? What was that song called? If you're a Ti fan, you got to listen to it. It's
I'm sure I've heard it.
That's All She Wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Dude, you got to listen to that today. That song is a banger. Okay, Ti is from
It's got to be.
born and raised in Atlanta.
That's what I thought. I knew I was right.
You know, I lost a bet in a rapper in Atlanta. I thought Lil Wayne was from Atlanta, and he's from New Orleans. I lost $20 that he was from Atlanta.
Love that.
I thought he was from Atlanta for sure.
Hey, there's a bunch of.
There are a bunch of them. Austin Riley, you the man, buddy. I want you to kill it this year. You always are. You're on the board with the home run. Did it take longer than you wanted it to?
You know, I try not to overthink it. It's game 4. I try not to overanalyze this early. You know, you definitely want to get one in Philly, like just the rivalry there. You want to put it on them as much as you can. So, was I hoping for one in Philly? Yes. Did it not happen? And I can live with that. So, it's a long season. So.
I love watching. I can't wait for you to be out west. I'm gonna come check out some games. It's the great Austin Riley. I can't wait to see you again, brother. We got to get on a little duck hunt also.
For sure. I know we've been trying, so we gotta line it up soon.
That's the great Austin Riley, starting third baseman for the Atlanta Braves. It's baseball season, everybody. It's the greatest time of the year. Besides the holidays, I'm a fall winter guy. I love Christmas. I love Halloween. I love Thanksgiving. I love family. But, man, there's something about the crack of the bat and being in the Battery in Atlanta watching the Braves play. There's just something about a baseball field. I love going to our AAA team right here, an affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Reno Aces. I just love everything about the game of baseball. I wish I would have been a good enough athlete to make it to the major leagues. I was not, but I'm very honored to have friends like Austin Riley and other major league players that keep my head in the game. I honor their friendships, and I also respect what they do because this game is so hard to get to the level that Austin and I just discussed. And for him to say that there's another level that Acuna would be in, I think that you're in that other level, Austin. You are the best third baseman in the game. Congratulations on the early success. This is going to be an amazing career to watch. You've been listening to This Life Ain't For Everybody. Any closing words, Austin Riley?
Hey, appreciate you for having me as always. Till next time.
That's the great Austin Riley. Thank you to Jack Daniel's original Tennessee Sour Mash Whiskey. Enjoy it responsibly. Never allow underage drinking. Lean on Jack Daniel's a little bit this summer as you're watching some of these baseball games with the man, Austin Riley. And remember, again, I'm going to say it, enjoy it responsibly. Chad Belding, Austin Riley, This Life Ain't For Everybody. We'll be back at you with another episode. Peace.